YouTube, what is up everybody? Doomwake here and welcome to another video on the channel. I am really excited to bring you guys this one today. Before we continue, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and be sure to let me know in the comment section below what you thought of the video. Leave a comment. Do you enjoy Asmo as much as I do? The answer is probably no, but in any case, this is what we are playing today. Now, this deck list, I first saw Aspiringspike play, and I'll be honest with you, with my job, with my, I've been working a ton of hours, I haven't had as much time to, pay attention to the new things that are going on. I've seen a little bit of it. But this is the deck list I first saw Spike playing on his channel, and great streamer, by the way, amazing player. And this deck list actually comes from the top 16 of the recent Saturday challenge. Not by Spike, somebody, I think it was Mike Age, M-I-A-K-A-G-E was the screen name. And, yeah, this deck's awesome. So, for those of you who don't know what's going on here, we are, obviously, we're playing Asmo, my favorite card of all time, probably, not even close, actually, just definitely my favorite card of all time. It is surpassed, actual Doomwake Giants, so that's a tall order. But we're combining it with Underworld Cookbook and Oval-Chase Daredevil. You've seen this before. You tap the Cookbook, discard a Daredevil, make a food, get the Daredevil back. It's just free food. So we're combining that this time with Academy Manufactor, which says if you would make a clue, food, or treasure, make one each instead. Now, the cool thing about Manufactor is they multiply. So if you have one in play, you get one of each. If you have two in play, you get three of each. If you have three in play, you get 9 of each. And if you have 4 in play, well, I can't count that high. So, but yes, just a way to generate a ton of game objects. And there is an infinite kill in this deck. And hopefully we'll get to showcase it to you guys. Well, if we don't, we're probably not going to win very many games. So let's hope we actually get to take some turns. But the setup here is if you have Cookbook plus Manufactor plus Daredevil, that makes 3 permanents to 3 artifacts. So if you have a second Cookbook or a second Manufactor, or an Emry plus just an Emry plus an extra artifact in the graveyard, you have infinite turns with Time Sieve. So it's, tap, sack 5 artifacts, take an extra turn. So this is gaining you 3 extra permanents, so you just need to find a way to make 2 more. Could be a second Cookbook, could be a second Manufactor. And then the rest of the deck is just kind of set up for that. So we have Bauble to cycle through our deck, combining with Emry to not only mill over cards, which we can find more combo pieces like Time Sieve or Cookbook or Manufactor, but also just giving you a draw engine to rebuy Bauble. We have Unearth, which is actually really sick for a couple of reasons. There's definitely spots where you have Cookbook and Manufactor in hand, and you can basically just discard the Manufactor and then unearth it for a 1-mana Manufactor, which can, you can just set up turn 3, discard, or end of turn, discard Manufactor, untap, unearth Manufactor, play Time Sieve, kill you, stuff like that. So just being able to get a massive discount on Manufactor is kind of cool. And then obviously, if they kill your Manufactors, which they're likely going to do because those cards are really powerful, you can just get them back with Unearth. You can also mill them over with Emry, get them back, so it's kind of cool. And then the newest addition here, which is just amazing in this deck, is Ledger Shredder. So Ledger Shredder not only is really powerful with just free spells, cheap spells, like Bauble and all the 1-mana cards, it's actually really sick with specifically Oval-Chase Daredevil. Because let's say, turn 2, you go Ledger Shredder, play Mishra's Bauble. If you have a Daredevil in hand, you get to discard the Daredevil to the Shredder, which puts a counter on it and essentially gives you a free card. And then the Bauble is still on the stack after you've resolved the Connive trigger, so then the Bauble comes into play and you just get the Daredevil back. So it's basically draw a card, put a counter in your Shredder if you have Daredevil. It's just so awesome. And then obviously it just gets you closer to your combo pieces like Time Sieve and Manufactor. It's just an all-star in this deck. I absolutely love it. And then we have our Saga package here. We have the usual suspects, Nihil Spellbomb, Shadow Spirit, Aether Spellbomb, and then 1 Springleaf Drum. I like Drum because you are only playing 20 lands, and it is really important to be able to have a permanent mana source that you can get off of Saga, because inherently Saga does sacrifice itself after 3 turns, so you're down a mana source. So also fixes colors sometimes, because you do have, there's spots where you want to, Time Sieve plus blue spell or something, and you don't always have 3 colored sources because you're low on lands anyway, so you basically just get to filter the Saga into colored mana, so that comes up too. Mana base, nothing too fancy here. We got some Dark Slicks, some Wateries, the obvious aforementioned Sagas, Deltas, a couple basics, and then our Oh yeah, we have a Steam Vents for Giganta, and then we have an Otawara and a Minamo. Minamo's kind of cool because you can untap Emry. Like, example, if you have, Emry and a Bauble, you get to go sack the Bauble, untap the Emry, Emry the Bauble back, so on and so forth. So it's kind of cool with Emry if that ever comes up. Sideboard here, again, there's our Giganta. It's mostly free to play. I mean, you're giving up a sideboard slot. I don't really know how often Giganta actually comes up in this deck, so that's something to keep an eye on this league. Not sure if it's worth it. Maybe just rather have a third Thoughtseize. 4 Fulminator Mage. A card that I'm not a huge fan of, but when you're choosing to play with 4 Unearth, if you play against Tron or Amulet or stuff, when you have Fulminator and Unearth, it's an absolute nightmare for them. So I like it because we have the 4 Unearth. It's not usually the big mana hate of choice that I like to play, because Damping Sphere doubles as hate against other decks, and same with like Void Mirror against Tron and stuff like that. So it is a little bit more narrow, but it's also more high impact with Unearth. 2 Thoughtseize here, mostly for combo decks, control decks, things of that nature, pretty obvious stuff. Bone Shards, which looks interesting. So we're choosing to play Bone Shards as a removal spell of choice for a couple of reasons. One, Karn the Great Creator is an absolute nightmare for us because we can't combo through Karn the Great Creator. So it's a removal spell that kills Karn, and also, very importantly, kills Yawgmoth. Yawgmoth having protection from humans makes it really awkward because you can't kill it with Asmo. So you need to be able to have a clean answer to Yawgmoth, and also the fact that it answers Karn, I think makes it the best removal spell. Also, it's a discard outlet for Asmo, so there's multiple reasons you want to play this as your removal spell, so I think it makes sense. Flusterstorm to fight opposing counterspells, Soul Guide Lantern for graveyard decks, and Pithing Needle for plethora of things, Yawgmoth, Planeswalkers. There's plenty of stuff that Needle comes in against. But that's the deck. I am super excited to showcase this to you guys. Asmo, as you all know, is my favorite card of all time, and I couldn't resist playing this deck, so I won't make you wait any longer. Let's get into some games. YouTube, it is time. Asmo food. Blue-black infinite turns, I guess we'll call it. I am really excited for this one. As soon as the first time that I saw Spike playing this deck, I knew I had to give it a go. So, yeah. Hope you guys enjoy this one. This one's going to be a fun one. So, open up on a hand that's not perfect. Obviously, we'd be a lot better off if we had an Oval Chase Daredevil, but I think this hand is fine, because even if we absolutely have to, we can discard the second Shredder. We can go turn 1 Cookbook, turn 2 Emry or Shredder, depending on the situation. See what they're doing. There's also some argument to hold the Cookbook for Shredder, but that's assuming the Shredder even lives, so I don't think I'm gonna do that. I think I'm just gonna play Cookbook and pass. Don't plan on making a food end of turn. I don't want to discard any of these cards. I'd rather just take a draw step, see if I can find the Daredevil, then I can discard the Daredevil to this, get it back, play some stuff. Drawing the Unearth is actually kind of nuts, because now what I get to do is go discard Shredder, Unearth Shredder, play Emry, trigger Shredder. That's kind of a sick turn. Obviously, they might just have Counterspell, which it looks like they might. Oh. Okay. That's not good. That is not good. We did draw the Daredevil. So now it's a question of... I still think I actually want to do the Shredder line, because I need to dig for an Asmo to kill this thing. So let's just go Unearth Shredder, play Emry. This is kind of a sick line. I don't know if it's going to be good enough, but... So Unearth is spell number 1, Emry is spell number 2, we get to loot, discard, I think the Daredevil, that's fine. Okay. Well, we found an Asmo, but it's in the wrong place. Steam Vents tap, that's a good sign. Oh. Okay. Okay, where do we go from here? Can't really go anywhere, because all my spells cost 2 mana, so I actually can't really double spell here. Yeah, like I can play Time Sieve from hand. I can play Time Sieve from the graveyard with Emry. Yeah, we needed like another 1-mana artifact to pair with the Shredder. Double spelling this turn would have been huge. So I think as is, I'm just going to go target Time Sieve. Get the Daredevil back. Discard Daredevil. And I actually can't even take a turn, because I only have 4 artifacts. That's kind of unfortunate. We may be able to kill them next turn, but that's... Granted, we even get a turn, which is not the most likely thing to happen when they have Brawl and untap with 3 mana. So I'm not loving our spot here. Are they just passing again? Okay. I mean, I'll take it. So let's go make a food. Get back the Daredevil. And then, let's see how we want to do this. So I can go Shredder, Time Sieve, or... Actually, isn't it better to just go... Let's do it this way. Let's go Time Sieve. Let's sack everything but the Time Sieve. Yes. 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I can Emry back the Cookbook. This works, right? And that also gives me a loot off of the Shredder, which is kind of good. So let's go discard the Daredevil. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Get it back. Then we can go make a food, because that's free. I'm going to cycle the Bauble here, because I really just want to find a Manufactor, because Manufactor is lethal. It might even be just pretty close to lethal anyways. But yeah, I'm just going to sack the Bauble here. Because worst case, I can still rebuy the Time Sieve or the Bauble, and then I'm going to get another Cookbook off of this saga. So it should be fine. We're not very far away from killing them here. We don't need a lot. All right, draw a card. Okay, that probably should be good enough, right? Let's make a mana. Get a book. Trigger that. Yeah, this should be game. Make a food. Make a food. Cast Asmo. Get another book. Play the book. Trigger this. Discard Daredevil. Get back Daredevil. Yeah, this should be game. I did technically mess up. I should have played the Shredder first, but it's fine. And we'll go sack 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Play this tapped. Get back the Bauble. I should have played it untapped, but it's a moot point at this point. So attack for 4. They go to 9, and yeah, this is definitely lethal. They give us the GG. It is in fact GG. All right, cool. Infinite turns! Well, they played Brawl on turn 2 and then didn't do anything, so I guess that's good. Thoughtseize, Flusterstorm. I want Bone Shards. I don't think so. Hold on. I don't think I want Bone Shards. I think I'm going to go cut the Unearths because they're pretty slow in this matchup. Trim a Shredder also because it's pretty slow. I actually kind of want to keep Shadow Spear because it's like, if they do like a small-ish empty, Shadow Spear can kind of push through that. And I don't have an explosives, so I don't want to be cold to empty. I think the Aether Spellbomb is kind of sketchy. Yeah, let's do it like this. I like this. It seems weird to cut a Ledger Shredder, but the thing is, Ledger Shredder is a lot better when you have more time, because Shredder does kind of ask you to give... It does require a little bit of setup, you know? Now, this is a hand and a half. This is... almost a turn 3 kill. Wow. This hand is so good. I don't even know what I want to do here. Oh my god, this hand's insane. So let's think about this. I think I should lead Cookbook. Because I think the highest upside line, if I draw Daredevil, is Cookbook into Time Sieve into Manufactor. So I think what I'm going to do is get a basic island. Sometimes they bring in Blood Moon, so I guess I'll just fetch basics. We'll go Cookbook, and I'm just gonna loot the Bauble now because I really want to find Daredevil. All right, they got a wish. I can really use a wish right now. Don't copyright strike me for that, please. This is Electromancer. Okay. I don't think there's a reason to discard anything right now. I guess this is the reason to hold the Bauble. But again, we were going for the high upside line of turn 2 Time Sieve, turn 3 Manufactor, because that is lethal if I find a Daredevil. Yeah, I'm just gonna play Time Sieve here. It's the high upside play. I can't remove the Electromancer from the battlefield, so it is a lot worse if they have something like Smash, or not Smash, Shattering Spree, because this is the card that I'm looking to protect the most. But I think given that they have the turn 2 Electromancer, I kind of have to go for high upside here. Alright, are we making a food here? I don't think so. Daredevil. Not a Daredevil. Okay, so we get to go Manufactor. Hopefully they don't have Remand. That would stink. And then I think I'm just going to go discard Drum. Please don't have Bolt. Maybe spewing this off is kind of loose if they had Bolt. Okay, now we can go sack Treasure, play Cookbook, discard Watery Grave. Which I think is good. And then we can just sack everything but the Time Sieve and the 2 Cookbooks. Yeah, and then this leaves all of our material in play. And then we hypothetically get 2 more looks, because even if I brick, we can still go discard the Shredder, discard the card that I draw, make 6 food, take a turn, and even keep the food around, which is pretty good. So let's actually go... Yeah, let's go discard Bauble, and then I think crack Clue. There it is. That's just game. That is, in fact, game. That was the turn 3 kill. Oh my god. Actually got the turn 3 kill. Holy crap, that's crazy. When it said deck is pretty cool, say thank you. Alright, let's go Shredder, Cookbook, discard Daredevil. Oh, god, this deck is so sick. This deck is so sick. Oh, man. This deck is too much. Alright. They're dead. At what point do you think they... Okay. I was like, at what point do you think they realize they're dead? Alright, that was round 1. We got a nice little turn 3 kill. Who said Modern isn't a turn 3 format? Round number 2. Just a little bit. Alright, YouTube. I don't know if we're going to get another turn 3 kill this league, but hey, at least it happened once, so... maybe I spoke too soon. This hand is kind of cracked. Maybe this deck is just busted. Wow, this hand is nuts. We get to go turn 1 Cookbook, turn 2 Time Sieve, turn 3 discard... I guess it's kind of awkward. We can't, because if we discard the Manufactor and then unearth it, we don't actually get the extra game objects that turn. We'll see what they're on. They might just YOLO turn 2 Manufactor. It's not the best play, but we'll see what they're up to. I guess we maybe have to worry about Prismatic Ending. No, don't Thoughtseize me. That's rude. Damn it. Alright, I kind of assume they're going to take Cookbook? I think Cookbook is just the best card in my hand. They obviously can't take Manufactor. Guess they could take Unearth, but maybe it's between Cookbook and Time Sieve, probably. I still think it's better to take Cookbook. Because then I just have no plays. Like, yeah, that makes sense. Thoughtseize bug? Any Thoughtseize bugs? Come on. Come on, Thoughtseize bug. Nope. Alright, Dark Slick Shores, pass. Our hand's a lot worse now. I'll tell you that much. Our hand is definitely a lot worse. We have a lot of bad draws, too. Like more Daredevils, Asmos. Okay. Probably have Ephemerate. So they'll probably take Time Sieve Unearth. Or maybe Manufactor Unearth. Maybe leave me with the Time Sieve. Oh, they just don't have the Ephemerate. Okay. Ah, Reanimator, I see. Right, let's go Bauble. I guess we'll play Time Sieve. They have a Plains on top. Okay. So they arc on us. We discard Daredevil. I'm trying to think if we have outs. I don't think we have outs, realistically. Okay. Well, our out is them just not having it, so I guess that's an out. And I mean, we're kind of chilling if we find another cookbook. I do think I have to play this on 3. Like, obviously, it sucks if they just have, like, you know, Prismatic Ending or Teferi, but I don't think I can afford to wait. Oh. I'm okay with that. I am A-okay with that. That's also a really good draw. Now can I afford to wait? Because the cool thing about waiting is I get a free game object this turn, but it's so much more mana efficient to just do it this way. This might be the wrong play. I could be convinced this is the wrong play. Because I'm trying to think, like, if they go Tef Bounce. Okay. Because they could also have Solitude. I think it's still right to use all my mana that turn. It's pretty close. You could convince me otherwise, but I think I like just being really, like, as mana efficient as possible there. And honestly, if they go Tef Bounce, it's not that bad, because then I can just go, you know, land, play both, make a food. Okay. Alright, no Solitude, please. No Solitude, please. They don't have it. Or Thoughtseize, I guess. Okay, that's good. Ish. Maybe. Ho ho ho. Come on, don't. No Solitude. No Solitude. Let's go. Did we just kill them? I think we just killed them. I think we just killed them. My goodness. So not a turn 4 kill, but a turn... not a turn 3 kill, but a turn 4 kill. Alright. Well, we get to play the game of, at what point do they know they're dead? Probably when I activate this Time Sieve. Alright. Crack a fetch. Just gonna sack this clue, because why not? Alright. I'll probably end up fast-forwarding this part to not make you sit through this, but yeah, they're dead. We'll take infinite turns. Alright, they finally realized the writing on the wall. Alright, so not a turn 3 kill, but a turn 4 kill. We'll take it. Game 2. Playing against Black-White Reanimator. Or Esper, excuse me. So Soul Guide good. Needle's good against Teferi, but... nah. Thoughtseize is good because they probably have Stony Silence. Don't think I want Fulminator. So it's really awkward. Obviously, I understand that Bone Shards does kill Archon of Cruelty. The problem with Bone Shards is when they play Archon, you are down 2 resources, and then you're down 2 more resources to the Bone Shards. So I don't really think it's actually a good exchange. Flusterstorm is interesting, but it's really bad against Grief specifically. It's good against Thoughtseize and Ephemerate and all of their reanimation spells, so it's probably worth it. I don't know if I'm... Actually, Unearth is not bad in this matchup, I think. What is bad? Well, Shredder is actually pretty good, because they're usually, like, Grief Ephemerating, but maybe I just don't have time for Shredder in this matchup. Again, it's like a really fast-paced matchup. Maybe like Shave and Unearth. Maybe just 2 Flusters. Especially on the draw. Maybe on the play I'll have the 3rd Fluster, but I think 2 Fluster on the draw is fine. Because like I said, it's not really good against their Grief stuff. I guess it does hit Ephemerate, but like they Grief you, they just take the Flusterstorm and then they Ephemerate the Grief. So it's not actually good against Grief Ephemerate. It's really only good against their, like, persist lines. Which I guess is, most of their deck, to be fair, but this hand's not bad. I don't have black mana, but I have red mana to cast the Asmo. I think it's okay. I'm gonna try it. I also really don't like mulliganing against them because they have Thoughtseize and Grief. So, like, just mulliganing, going down cards against the Thoughtseize Grief deck is really tough. So they're probably going to take the Cookbook again. Yeah, it's our only playable card. But, I mean, they take Cookbook and we still Flusterstorm for some defensive maneuvers, so it's not the worst. But then they could probably just Grief the Flusterstorm at their leisure. Yeah, I expect them to take Cookbook here. Unless they're, like, really all in on a turn 3 reanimate, but... I don't want to give them the information. I think I'm just going to play this untapped. I'm trying to think if there's any way I get punished. Like, is there a world where I would cast Unearth on turn 2 after playing Saga? I can't imagine, right? I don't think so. If they Thoughtseize me, I'm going to fight over it, because they're just going to take the Flusterstorm anyways. I don't want to give them the information. Not the best draw. I mean, I guess we can go Cycle Unearth plus Asmo on turn 3, which is probably what I have to do. Yeah, I think I'm just going to Cycle Unearth this turn, or next turn, excuse me, not this turn. This looks like Faithful Mending, okay. Okay, they discarded Archon Rites. Now I'm considering just cycling this. To try and just dig desperately for, Yeah, you know what? It's actually not bad, because I don't want to put the Asmo into play when they're going to Archon me regardless. So... just play Time Sieve. Play Time Sieve, they get back Archon, I discard backup Asmo. And then I go... make mana, get Cookbook, discard Emry, play Asmo, get second Cookbook, discard, kill Archon. Like, there's no point in playing the Emry, because they're just going to kill it with the Archon, so it's either Time Sieve or make a token. Maybe the token's better. Because I might just want to discard the Time Sieve, to be honest. Depending on what we draw. I mean, obviously, if I find a Daredevil, it's better, but... Yep, so they persist. Oh. Oh, that's bad. I wonder if that means... I wonder. I actually wonder if they would play this over the persist. Maybe. Well, in any case, we're going to go Swamp. I mean, it does make sense if they have persist to play this first, right? I'm going to make a second token, because that's all I can really do. Going to get, I guess... Oh, I can get Lantern. That's sick. And just eat the. Oh, that's so good. See, this is why you play Lantern. This is why you play Lantern, so you can actually get utility under a Stony Silence. That's sick. That actually came up. That's hilarious. What's this? Okay. They have a second Archon. Oh, they don't have a second Archon. Oh, they have second and third Archon. Well, crap. Solitude Ephemerate would be obviously a disaster. Fetching for Island. They're at 15. I can't kill them, can I? The most I can deal is 10. Yay. So I can just go Cookbook, Time Sieve, Tapland, Cookbook, get this back, Black Blue, attack for 10. Depending on what their follow-up is to Archon, we still might not be in a bad spot. I mean, obviously, if they go land rights, they're actually just dead, right? 5. Not quite. They're close to dead if they go land rights. I'm thinking if they go persist and then also have something else like an ephemerate. Okay, they conceded from the game. Cool. So I guess they just didn't have land or persist. Interesting. Well, we beat Stony Silence. That was kind of cool. That's kind of what Urza Saga does sometimes. So 2-0. I'll see you in a little bit. Round number 3. All right, YouTube, round 3. I apologize if you can hear some rumbling outside. It's thunderstorming, so hopefully, knock on wood, we don't lose power during this round. So we're on the play. Round number 3. 2-0. This deck has felt really sick so far. This hand is a little suspect. So I'm trying to think, every time I look at a hand, I always trying to think of best case scenario. So this is nothing on 1, probably Saga on 1 to be honest. And then turn 2, land go. Turn 3, float, manufactor, discard Daredevil, play Emry. So this is like nothing into manufactor Emry on turn 3. Is that good enough? I don't think so. I think I'm going to ship this. This hand's actually worse, somehow. I think I have to go to 5. I mean, this hand's kind of nuts if we find a cookbook, which we have effectively 8 copies of. But, like, we just do nothing until then. I'm willing to risk that. That is a good question. This one's close. I mean, it's kind of the same thing as the first hand, except this hand literally does nothing. I'm just going to go to 5. Okay. Okay, we can maybe work with this. Put back Shadow Spear for sure, and then probably Unearth? And then I can probably Bauble myself, looking for most likely land just to try and beat them down with Saga. I mean, that's the cool thing about going to 5, is like Saga is worth a lot of cards by itself. So when you mull to 5 and have Saga, it's the Saga by itself almost just undoes a double mulligan. It's just such a sick card. Yeah, I'm gonna put these 2 back. All right, let's do this. Well, I have to play the cookbook either way, right? All right, I guess I should just fetch then. Bubble them. Yeah, I do have to play the cookbook either way. Like, if I bubble myself and see a land, I still can't afford to not play the cookbook, because then I'm not playing the Emry. And I gotta play the Emry on too. Is this Jund? Classic Jund? Oh, Living End. Oh, no. I approve of my opponent's decisions. I approve. I'm a big fan. Opponent must be a fan of the channel. Okay, that helps. Let's go Saga and Emry. Pass. I mean, if they don't have a second cookbook or a removal spell for Emry, then we might be chilling. If they can remove this Emry, then we might be in trouble. It's like they're playing Jund food. Okay. Ren and 6. That's actually fine. Alright, we need a land here really badly. Give me a land. Land would be so nutso here. I'd be so sick if I find a land. 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 Oh, let's go. Okay, now what do we do with it is the question. Oh, man, this is tough. So... I have to imagine they can probably kill the Emry next turn. So if I don't play the Time Sieve here, I'm likely not going to get to cast it. So what if I just went Emry, Time Sieve, Drum, Pass, and just put a whole bunch of mana into play? I kind of like that, because that actually gives me a mana source. If they kill the Emry, I get a mana source after the Saga dies, so I can go like Manufactor into something else. Yeah, I think I like that. And not exposing the Manufactor to Asmo is good, because like they're kind of incentivized to just kill the Emry straight up. So I think I like that, actually. So let's go Drum. Oh, no, I meant to... I forgot I couldn't cast both. I needed to cast the Time Sieve. Okay, that was horrible. I messed up. That was really bad. For some reason, I thought I could cast the Time Sieve and the Drum, but obviously I can only use the Emry once. Okay, that was bad. I just misclicked. I brain farted. Sometimes you just brain fart. It sucks. That was really dumb. Man. All right, well, take it off. We all make mistakes, you know. We all make mistakes, and I'll probably get chewed up in the comments about that. But when you make a mistake like that, you just have to, decompress and realize that everything, just do control what you can control after the fact. No point in dwelling on it. They haven't used Ren yet. They have Cookbook. Okay. So I guess they're going to sack Asmo to kill Emry. Yeah. Okay. Emry down. And they get back Bloodstain Mire. Okay. So now what? Think I should just manufacture and just get a second cookbook here. Is there any reason to Nihil Spellbomb their graveyard? I don't think so. So let's go cookbook, manufactor, make a bunch of game objects, some more game objects. Then we get to go tap this, play Shadow Spear. And then to play around Thoughtseize, we'll end of turn crack a clue. And then we're just going to try and find Time Sieve. They can't minus this Grist. And the fact that they minus the Grist last turn to kill the Emry means they likely don't have any other like good removal spells in their hand. This is probably like a answer or something. Alright, make a token. That's fine. Armancer? Yeah. I mean, this is all fine. It's not that bad. The grand scheme of things. Discard Daredevil. Yeah. Still know about the cookbook. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, Time Sieve is still lethal. Let's go crack clue. Okay, not a Time Sieve. Let's, I think, crack the clue before anything else. Huh. See? See, it doesn't matter. Never punished. To be fair, I should have won the game last turn, so, you know. Never, ever punished. Why would I ever get punished? Why would I ever get punished? If you've ever watched me, if you ever watched the channel before, you know I never get punished. Only sometimes. Alright, let's see if they're going to make us do it. I have to fast forward a little bit. Alright, infinite turns. Alright, 10 minutes later, our opponent is dead. Alright, game number 2. Sideboarding against Jund Food. Well, typically not a big fan of Thoughtseize in matchups like this. Games can typically go a little bit longer, and you know Thoughtseize is already not good against Urza Saga. It's okay against Red and 6, but Flusterstorm definitely not something I want. Fulminator Mage is interesting, but it's also really bad against Red and 6. So I think I want the Needle and the Lantern, because Needle's good against Red and 6. Lantern can help against Daredevil setups. And I might want like 1 or 2 copies of Bone Shards. It's not a card I want to draw a lot of copies of. I feel like Aether Spellbomb. No, it's good against Saga tokens. I wonder if they're going to be super heavy on Graveyard Hate. I found myself typically just like boarding out a ton of Unearths, because I do think it is probably the weakest card in the deck in Game 1 situations. Or when you get to post-board, because your opponent brings in a lot of Graveyard Hate, so it does get a little bit weaker post-board. So I think this maybe is where I want to be. It is pretty good at like rebuying, you know, Thoughtseized Asmos, or when like they kill your Asmo with theirs, you can rebuy it. I don't know. I think I'd rather go with Bone Shards because they have Ren and 6 and Grist. So just having like clean-ish answers to Planeswalker seems pretty important. Also, I don't know why there's a Giganta in my sideboard, because I've yet to ever find myself in a situation where I actually want it, so that one maybe is not necessary. This hand's really nice. This is, I mean, just turn 1 Emry is really good. Can't complain about a turn 1 Emry. Opponent also is on 7. What do we got? Looks like maybe a cookbook. Ooh. Okay, maybe perhaps a change of plans. Yeah, I think what I'm gonna do. Yeah, let's go Watery Grave. The reason I'm getting Watery Grave is because I want to play Saga on turn 2, but I also want to play Emry on turn 2. So let's go Bone Shards the Ragavan, discard the Daredevil, cast a Bauble, get back said Daredevil, and I think I'm going to save the other Bauble, because in the event I draw Shredder, I might want to play Shredder next turn. And also I need to keep a Bauble to be able to play the Emry next turn. I could cycle one of them, it's fine, but... Like, I wouldn't want to cycle both Baubles, because then I lock myself out of playing Emry next turn, so... Either way, I'm saving a Bauble. So if I'm going to save one, there's really no reason to play it. Might as well just hold it. For Shredder purposes. What you got? Foothills. Okay. They played the Mire, though. Getting a basic. Yeah. So no Red and 6, that's good. Okay. It's a little annoying. Makes my Bone Shards a lot worse. Let's see if they also have Thoughtseize. They hit a Daredevil, that's totally fine. Never really need the second copy. Okay. Interesting. So let's go, I guess, Bauble, Saga, Spellbomb, Emry. I'm going to ship it. Wait till their upkeep, I'll crack the Bauble. Galvanic Blast. So now they can Galvanic Blast and then also dash the Ragavan. It's annoying. It's definitely annoying. They still did not play the Foothills we knew about. They're going to get a Mountain one and they just played the land we knew about. Maybe they forgot we knew about the Foothills. Exile the Darkslick Shores. That is fine. So they have Ragavan, Foothills, 2 unknowns. I think it's just Construct time. Because, yeah, I think doing... Like, Construct is worse against exactly Galvanic Blast, because they can't Galvanic Blast the Manufactor. But... I do plan on offering the trade if they dash Ragavan. Okay, it's a little annoying. Beatable, but annoying. And also, the cool thing about this is I just get to force the removal spell on the Construct token. Maybe they'll just take the trade, but... Ancient Grudge. Okay, that's a little dicey. Ooh, are they going to get tempted by the Manufacturer? They are. That's actually really good for me. This is an absurd turn for me. Oh, actually, it's not that great. Because I wanted to get a Cookbook, but I can't get a Cookbook and also deal with their Grudge. So I have to choose. Do I get Lantern, or do I get Cookbook? I feel like the Cookbook is too much value. Yeah, I think the Cookbook is too much value, so let's just go make a mana. Get the book. Let's go Manufactor. Do this. Get back the Daredevil 3 separate times. Let's go play Otawara, because I don't want to take damage. And the reason I'm playing the Otawara is I'm actually holding up the Spell Bomb. So if they go to Grudge, I could also potentially bounce my own Manufactor. I could also bounce their Manufactor, which is essentially goes back to my hand. So if they try to set up like a Cookbook line, I could kind of blow them out by just bouncing this. That I don't care about. Okay, now they play the Foothills. Alright, untap. So... now what? What if I go bounce Manufactor, play second Manufactor, and then try to go ham? Alright, hold on. Let's play this land, crack for a blue. Did I mill my island? Shoot, I milled my island. I should have played the shock land. It's fine. Bounce this. I could even force the issue with the Nihil Spellbomb if I wanted to. Play Manufactor. So yeah, I can go cast Nihil Spellbomb, crack the Spellbomb, they Grudge, I respawn, make 1,000 game objects. But then I'm not actually getting the Spellbomb into play. Because I want to get this Spellbomb into play, ideally. Trying to think of the best way to do this. So if I Nihil Spellbomb first, right, I sack Treasure, crack Nihil Spellbomb. They respond and Grudge. I respond and make 6 game objects. But that leaves me without an Aether Spellbomb. Which I think is just worse. So I think what I'm going to do is just play the Spellbomb. And I think just pass. Yeah. I'm going to make it awkward for them. I guess they're just going to hold it up, right? They're just not going to use it. That's fine. I do have to force it out at some point, you know. So they're going to make a token. They're just not going to crack their fetch. Yeah. Maybe I should have. Maybe I should have done it there. Because if I'd done it there, like I'm going to have to do it before the saga goes off anyways. But if I had done it there, while this was their only land, they likely don't have a basic forest. They probably would have had the shock there. If I was going to do this anyways. They grudge the cookbook? Wait, really? That was unexpected. That was very unexpected. I don't know what that means. I guess they're trying to get. Oh, okay. I see what they're doing. They're going to get a piece of graveyard hate, which is like annoying, but the card I care the most about is already in play. Like, this is the card I care the most about. I don't really care if they exile this stuff. Like, yeah, it's one cookbook down, but. No, they're getting a cookbook. Okay, I'm lost. I don't know what their plan is. They're going to play Asmo? That's not even close to good enough. Okay, that's fine. Like, even if one of those constructs was threatening, I'm just going to bounce it. Yeah, this game should be over. Alright, my turn. So we can Emry back a cookbook and just go off. Let's pop a clue first. I mean, I didn't come here to not make 1,000 game objects. I want to watch my life total a little bit. That's one way I lose this game. All right, let's think realistically here. How do we possibly lose this game? It's a good question. We can make a bunch of mana. Yeah, okay, let's go 1, 2, 3. Manufactor. Get the book. Play the book. Discard Daredevil. Break Moto in the process, because this is way too many triggers. there's no way Magic Online can handle this. it's already broken. Okay. Oh my god, what have I done? See, now when I actually find the time sieve to kill them, I have to like kill 2 of my own manufacturers just because I don't have enough. Like, I'm gonna time out if this keeps happening. It took me like 30 seconds just to resolve that one activation. Alright, let's go Clue. I just want to find Time Sieve. Okay, that's like 4 more cards. Okay, Clue. Cookbook. Let's do it again. Oh no. I'm literally gonna break Magic Online doing this. There's no way Magic Online can handle this. Oh boy. Like, obviously there's no way we can lose this game now, but you know. Honestly, I could try to find the Time Sieve, but I think I'm just gonna cast the Asmo, because I think they might just scoop to the Asmo. I'm just gonna kill all their stuff. Like, obviously there's, we have the game locked up, and I don't want to like waste a bunch of time trying to do this. I'd rather just get the game over with. I'm not trying to just dirtle. I could like sack more clues to try and find stuff, but there's no point. There's really no point. I'm just gonna kill their stuff. I am not gonna waste any more time. Attack. Here go. I could play the Bauble too, but it doesn't matter. My game actions are no longer relevant. I even beat double Galvanic Blast because I can just sack food with the treasures. Oh, not a cookbook. Got me on the ropes. Got me on the ropes. There's a lot of game objects. I wonder. But let me know in the comment section below. How many game objects do you think that Magic Online can handle? They're galvanic blasting Emry. That's fine. How many total game objects between food, clues, and treasures do you think Magic Online can handle without crashing? It was pretty close to crashing there. And that was only, what, 27? Because it's 999. Yeah, it's 27. I'm not going to tap my cookbook. I'm not going to do it. I could. I just want this game to be over with. I don't want to have to, like, wait 30 seconds to resolve a cookbook activation. I'm just going to kill them. Alright, attack. You go to 5. Your turn. Maybe they'll mill me out somehow. I don't know. Alright, you're at 4. Oh, I'm bad at math. I have 3 manufactors, right. Okay. Alright, your turn. They got some real heaters here. We're drawing live. Yeah, that's not gonna do it. That is, in fact, not going to do it. They're drawing real heavy here. Real heavy. Could be anything. Could be literally anything. I'm doing this now in hopes that they'll just scoop. Okay. We're still playing it out. Anyone's game. Okay, I don't think that matters. Yeah, you can kill 2 of my things. I still have lethal. Okay, I just want F6. I could take more game actions, but I really, I might even fast forward this part. Like, obviously the game's over. At least they're... Oh, no, they're not actually dead, right? They can... Oh, no, they can't gain life. No, they're actually dead, yeah. Because I have 4 power. Cool. Sick. Alright, 3-0. As soon as I enter my battle phase. Alright, that's when they've had enough, huh? That's when they've had enough. Not when I made 27 game objects. 3-0. Deck's broken. Round number 4. Just a little bit. Alright, YouTube, we're in the home stretch. We literally could not be doing any better this league. We are 3-0, 6-0. Have not lost a singular game yet. Okay. These hands are so weird. Because we do have turn 2 Saga Shredder, which is not bad. But then Shredder is kind of awkward with this hand because we want to activate Saga on 3, so we're not really triggering Shredder. This hand's just like too slow. I'm just gonna mulligan. I don't like keeping hands that don't have like early plays. I mean, this is the same hand, but we're already on 6. I don't think I'd want to go to 5. This is basically the same hand, for all intents and purposes. It's not great, don't get me wrong. It's definitely below average. Well, I guess we have Shredder to block that, but they're likely going to be able to kill our Shredder. Big shreds. This deck is just Maritime Guard Tribal, just mono 1/3s. Shout out to Maritime Guard, though. Maybe their hand is all heats. I hope their hand is all heats. Terminate. Come on, just show me all heats. No! Dreadbore. That's one you don't see very often. They also have Thoughtseize? No. Okay. So I actually can't even double spell here. That's kind of gross. Because I don't have an artifact in play. Really wish I could double spell. If I spend my turn trying to make a token, they could just heat my token. wonder if it's better to just play Manufactor here. Because then if they kill the Manufactor, that's fine, because I can just go float mana, get Cookbook, unearth the Manufactor, then Cookbook activation. So I actually, oddly enough, kind of don't really care if they kill this. So I think this is the better play. Because I have the unearth. Now, obviously, if they have, like, removal spell plus Thoughtseize, that'd be awkward. But if they had Thoughtseize, they would have fired it off last turn. So it's pretty hard for them to cast removal spell and Thoughtseize this turn, because they likely would have cast Thoughtseize last turn. I mean, I guess, no, that's stupid, right? They could just draw Thoughtseize and already have the removal spell rolled up. So, yeah, if they draw Thoughtseize, but... we shall see. I'm kind of surprised they have Dreadbore over Terminate. I wonder why that is. I'm sure there's a reason. I guess red and 6, which is probably a pretty good reason. All right, what do we got? Oh, they're this deck. Okay. They're like the Rakdos. What's that card called? Undying Evil, Malakir Rebirth, that kind of stuff. That's what they're up to. They pitch. Pitch Terminate. Ah. Okay. So they have a play to make instead of just casting Terminate. I wonder what that is. Liliana? No, they could have went Liliana plus Terminate. Oh no. That's so bad. That is probably the worst possible outcome for us. I don't really know how we're supposed to win now. Assume it involves making a token and getting a cookbook and praying. Praying to God that we draw Daredevil. I don't even know if Daredevil's good enough at this point. Yeah, that was an absolute beating. Question is, what are we doing with this construct? Honestly think I might just have to discard the Spell Bomb and block the Ragavan. If they attack with the Turok, I might just take 4. Because remember, unfortunately, I can't trade with the Turok, because if I discard a card to make my thing bigger, their thing also gets bigger. So at this point, we currently cannot trade for the Turok. Yeah, I'll just take this. Yeah, we can take a few hits from it. It's not the end of the world. Whoa. Okay. I think I have to take another 4 here. Yeah, I think I have to take 4. Man, this is rough. Okay. That is interesting. So now I can go Unearth plus Emry and just pray? Oh, I should have Emry'd first. I should have Emry'd first to get the Daredevil back. Shoot. Yeah, I should have Emry'd first. I mean, it's fine, because if they don't kill the Emry, we can still, I think, get infinite turns? Or I think we're going to be a cookbook short. We're pretty damn close. Let's say that. We're pretty damn close. Okay. So I can just discard the Spell Bomb, get back the Daredevil. Yep, get back the Daredevil. Discard the Daredevil to Croxa. Let me just pass. So they have a 6/5, but that's fine. I don't mind trading. Right? I could just take 4 from the Obnix list, go to 4, trade here, play Time Sieve, and then we should be good to go. I think it's not quite infinite. I think we need one more piece of material. We're pretty damn close, though. I mean, they have no cards, so it's on the table. They obviously have to attack. I don't know if it matters, though. I don't really think it matters that much. Oh my god, am I going to win this game? Oh my god. Well, I guess in that case, I'll just play the Time Sieve. Get back the Daredevil. Make some food. Yeah, this should be good enough. I think, well, we're not like quite infinite. I think we're missing like one cookbook. We're missing a little bit of material. Is there any reason to... Yeah, we can just go sack the treasure, play the spell bomb, sack the other 5 to take a turn. Yeah, it should be fine. Now we can go, yep, sack these 5, take a turn, and then if we find a cookbook, they're dead. It's not quite deterministic, but... Should I attack first? I actually think I shouldn't, because I can just bounce their thing. Because if I attack, they just block, right? If I attack first, they 100% just block, because they know I'm taking a turn. Okay. Let's go Daredevil. Get some things. Can go bounce this. Replay the spell bomb. Then we go attack them for 9. They go to 8. 2, 3, 4, 5. Because I can replay the cookbook. And I think this is... Is this lethal? Replay cookbook. Discard. Yeah, this is just... At least this is just lethal damage. Ooh! What a game. Did not think I was going to win this one. That was... Man, my opponent, like, had the perfect curve, too. They had, like, Ragavan into Dreadbore, my thing, into Fury, my creature, plus Turok, him to Turok me. And I still managed to win that game. That was sick. Alright, so playing against Rakdos. Soul Guide is good. I think Needle's pretty good against Obnixilis. Again, I think Fulminator is bad. I'm not... Like, what am I trying to Bone Shards in this matchup? It's not great against Ob. It's not great against Croxa. It's, like, okay against Ragavan, but... I think I'm just gonna keep doing the same thing that I've been doing. Just, like, trimming Unearth and bringing in a couple of cards. Like, I feel like we haven't really been sideboarding that much. There's been a couple of matchups where I brought in, like, 5-6 cards, but... Like, a lot of these cards are very dedicated, you know, combo hate, right? Like, Fulminator for big mana. I think Bone Shards is specifically for, mostly for Hammer, but it's like, you know, it's versatile enough. But the thing about Bone Shards is this matchup is a lot about resources, and Bone Shards does most of the time put you down a card. So you have to be a little bit cognizant of when you actually want to board it in. Like, if your opponent doesn't have something super high impact, like a Yawgmoth or something, I think that's mostly where you want Bone Shards, is Yawgmoth. This actually is not that bad. Like, it's decent against Thoughtseize because we have Sokka, but... I guess this hand's a little sketchy against Blood Moon. I mean, to be fair, most of my hands are probably going to be sketchy against Blood Moon. That was actually a really good draw step. Oh, I fetched the wrong basic. I wanted to get an island because I can cast Asmo through a Blood Moon without a basic island in play. I'm making a food here is the question. I think I should because I could potentially. I kind of want to kill this Bob. So let's go discard Shores, and then we'll see what we draw. All right, I'm gonna go discard Needle, play Asmo. I'm gonna get Book, kill the Bob, and then I'm actually gonna play the Shadow Spear. The second book is actually not that good without the like I'd make a punish for not playing the not playing the Dark Slick Shores because I could have just played Cookbook. I could have played Saga that turn. For some reason, I thought fetching Island on 1 was good against Blood Moon, but then I realized I couldn't play Asmo on 2 if I wanted to play Saga, so that was a mistake for sure. All right, on this low resources, I think I'm just going to discard the Time Sieve to keep the extra book around. I think that's good. Because now I can just go play book, equip. Yeah, which I think is fine. Cool thing about this line is it actually gets my thing around Bolt, too. I think I'm fine not playing around a Dash Ragged Man. Like if they want to spend 2 mana dashing it, I think it's okay. Obviously I could leave this back, but it's pretty significant pressure, so I don't mind just getting it in there. This deck just makes me feel at home, you know? It just makes me feel at home. All is right in the world when Doom gets to play Asmo. Oh, please don't Hidetsugu consumes all me. I can't beat that card. I can never beat that card in a million years. Oh no, they have it, don't they? I guess if they had it, they probably would slow roll it. There's no way in hell I could beat that card this game. I mean, I guess maybe Saga, but likely not. Now, what do we got? What do we got? It's going to be a long video, but it's going to be a good one. Well, I mean, we're already 3-0, 6-0, so, you know, definitely off to a good start. What do they could be thinking this long on? There's no way it's consumes all. They would just play it. Trying to think of what else they would be thinking on this long, especially if they shocked. Like Blood Moon, maybe? Because they don't have black mana. I mean, if they have Blood Moon, then maybe they probably have to cast it. If their hand is like Blood Moon plus nothing, they almost certainly have to cast it. Okay, we figured out why they tanked for a little bit. They had Necromentia, which, to be fair, I'm very, very shocked that they actually boarded this card in. I don't think it's very good against me. I think they're putting too much emphasis on the Time Sieve combo and forgetting that I can just kill them with, like, Saga, Asmo, and Shredder. They chose Emry. It's a reasonable name, I guess, but... Yeah, Necromentia, not exactly the card you want against, this kind of pressure. Alright, what do we draw? It's not a bad one. I guess there's no reason to do that now. Alright, attack you. You go to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think we have lethal, if not really close to lethal. Oh yeah, this is definitely lethal. Plus the Asmo. Yeah. Plus they have removal spell, of course, but... Alright, question is, what are we getting with the Saga? I don't think I need a second cookbook. Could just get a redraw. Yeah, let's just get a redraw, I guess. Then we'll go to attacks. Represent a lethal attack. For which they have to have a removal spell. Okay, Fatal Push is fine. We go to 6. Alright, 6 is Gucci. I'm okay with 6. You may proceed. Good luck. Well, I mean, if they have Consumes All, I probably still lose. Alright, they didn't have Consumes All. We are 4-0-8-0. Have not dropped a single game. This deck is cracked. Let's see if we can get that trophy. I'll see you back here in just a little bit. Round number 5. YouTube, everything is right in the world. We are 4-0 in a league with Asmo. 4-0-8-0, by the way. Haven't dropped a single game. The trophy match is upon us. And we have a hand that is Saga Beatdowns. I think I'm going to keep this, surprisingly, because we do have... I mean, this is technically a cookbook, even though it's a slow cookbook, and we have, like, some defensive maneuver plus a Bauble for a redraw, so I think it's okay. It's, like, probably just about borderline. Let's go Shores, Spellbomb, and then I'm going to upkeep the Bauble. See what they're working with. They're working with a Young Wolf. Okay. Historically speaking, this has been not the best matchup for Asmo because Yawgmoth itself has protection from humans, which means you can't kill it with Asmo. And that being said, we do have a Spellbomb, which is not nothing. Okay. Kind of wish I'd played Saga on 1 now. I'm trying to think if I want to cycle this. I don't think I do. It's going to pass. I might cycle the Unearth, but it might be better to just hold it. Okay, Wall of Roots. Plus Young Wolf, yeah. Okay. Ooh, no land. Alright, I'm gonna save the Unearth. Because I really want to be able to get it back. Okay. Well, kind of awkward. Kinda wish I just didn't save it now. But, like, now I have guaranteed access to 2 manufacturers, which is not bad. Oh, they're gonna court for Dryad Arbor. Okay. So this gives them access to Yawgmoth, which is not bad for them. Make sure I'm actually recording. Wouldn't want to play the 5-0 match and just find out that I'm not recording. That would be a disaster. Okay. Still have access to Yawgmoth. Which it looks like they do have, yeah. Question is, do I want to sack the Spellbomb? I think I have to. Okay. That's fine. This actually works out pretty well for me if they just fire this off now. Yep, that's fine. Alright, I am going to Spellbomb them. I do think it is pretty important to get the wolf out of here. It's not the best, but it's about as good as it's going to get. I mean, I guess now they can just get a, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now they can just get a Stranglergeist. I don't have the main deck Bithing Needle. Not that I would want to get the needle anyways, but... So let's get the book. Let's go... Huh. Trying to think if I want to get the Shredder into play here. Because I could go Shredder, Unearth, Manufactor, but then I can't play the second Manufactor. I think I'd rather just get 2 Manufactors into play. Is that better than Shredder, Unearth? Well, I'm trying to think of what I can find if I go Shredder, Unearth. Shredder, Unearth. I feel like it's just more important to get more bodies into play, just to get the double Manufactor, to get more game objects. I think this is more important. I guess this would be awkward if they have the 1 Endurance in their hand. They usually have 1 main deck Endurance. Now the question is, do I fire off the Cookbook activation now? I think I do because I can draw Asmo. It sucks because they could court in response and kill one of my manufacturers potentially, but what I can do is I can pay 2 treasures, sack a clue, and find exactly Asmo. Which I think would be pretty good. Because then I could kill a wall. So I'm just going to sack a clue now. Try and find the Asmo. Found an Unearth. Which doesn't really do anything. Alright, we're done. Your go. Not the worst turn, but not the best. Let's see if they can kill us. We are a Time Sieve away from greatness. Yeah, I feel like this is just a better board state than going Shredder plus 1 Manufactor. Because, like, the cool thing about this line, I mean, obviously I found the Unearth, which makes it a different story, but... Oh, do they just have the Undying Creature? I think we're dead if they have the Undying Creature, right? I think we are. Yeah, because they're at a higher... Or, no, we're at a higher life total. Okay. This is fine. Right? Okay. I'm still at a higher life total, so I don't think we're dead yet. Right? Because it's 9, 8, 10, 7, 6, 8, 5, 4, 6, 3, 2, 4. Yeah. Yeah, we're not dead to this. I mean, they could draw a couple more cards, but we're definitely not dead to it. We are dead, I think, if they find Word of Calling. Is that right? They need to be able to cord for 2 for the Blood Artist. Okay. Let's get the Watery Grave tapped. I think if they attack us for 2, we're still not dead, right? 10? Yeah, I think if they attack us for 2, we're still not dead. Which means I think we still have outs. It's always hard to figure out the math with this deck. Okay, they just passed. Alright, let's go Unearth the Manufactor. See if they found the Endurance. Oh, I should have played Shredder first. Yeah, I should have played Shredder first. I got a little too excited. Definitely should have played Shredder first, because now I just gave up a draw. Well, we find Time Sieve. Do have Lethal. Pretty sure. Unless we're somehow still just dead. I don't really know, but... What could they be thinking about? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I should have played Shredder first. Alright, they let it resolve. Food. Food. They're making green mana. Okay, that's fine. So they're going to kill my manufactor in response. Which is still fine if we draw exactly the... We have to exactly draw the Time Sieve. That's what I'm getting at. Okay, that's fine. Sack here, counter. And then they're going to kill it again. Well, it turns out if I played Shredder first... 1, 2, 3... It'd be the same number of draws, right? Because I had enough mana to either play Shredder or crack a clue. That is really interesting. Like, really interesting. That's not quite Time Sieve, but it's certainly the second best. It's definitely the next best card. Okay, I think I gotta kill this stuff now, right? So I kill Messenger. Yeah, I gotta kill this stuff now. And if they sack the wolf, then I'll just kill the Messenger again. Alright, we're just letting it die. I will kill all of your stuff. Okay, that's fine. I'm just gonna make a food in F6. Guess I should have played the drum. Alright, they're at 3. They're at 3. This is such a weird game. Okay. Do they have Artist Double Thing? They have Strangleroot, guys. Does that kill me? I go to 2. I go to 5. Or I go to 7. They can sack the Artist. That doesn't do it, right? Sack the Artist, counter on Geist. Sack the Geist, counter on Asmo. I go to 1. So that's not enough, I don't think. But I do have to chump block, right? Yeah, if I go to 2, I'm dead on board, so I have to chump block. Okay. So, Time Sieve? No, not Time Sieve. Oh, I don't think I have any outs now. Oh, if I'd played the drum last turn. No, if I'd played the drum, I would have won. Yeah. Remember when I said I could have played drum? Well, actually, that's not true, right? If I played drum and tapped the Asmo, I would have died. Yeah, right. Because I needed a blocker to survive. Man, sick game. Ah, sick game. So close. All right, we're dead. Damn it. Really, really close game though. That was the first game we lost in the last 2 hours, so I think we'll be okay. All right, Bone Shards for Yawgmoth, as well as Lantern Needle. I feel like this is not a good Shredder matchup. I think, again, it's just too fast-paced. And I think I'm going to cut one of the Unearths. Yeah, let's go with that. I feel like you can't really afford to just dirtle around with Shredder. So, like, Shredder's a fine game 1 card because you don't have a lot of outs to Yawgmoth itself, right? You really don't have any counterplay to it game 1. But in post-board, when you have Needle and Bone Shards, you don't really have to, like, worry about having a kill condition through a Yawgmoth. So I think you don't need Shredder as much in the post-board games, if that makes sense. Seems pretty bad. Okay, we can work with this. I think I'm putting back the Bauble. I think the rest of my hand's kind of just cracked. Can actually go discard the Manufacturer and then unearth it on turn 2, which I think is what I'm going to do. Alright, discard the Daredevil. Get it back. Pithing Needle, huh? Oh, I should have discarded the Manufacturer EOT. Right, because now I can't make an extra food. Alright, this is fine. I'm just going to go Needle on Yawgmoth and pass, I think. Yeah, I'm just going to ship it. Maybe it's better to Needle Grist there? No, I don't think so. Okay, they get a wall. I kept 7, right? Yeah, they kept 7. Green. What do we got? Geist. The Geist. The Wolf. It's a lot of wolves. Alright, let's go... Yeah, let's go end step, discard Manufacturer. This is, you know... It's not great if they have Endurance, but... Okay, it all worked out in the end. Do I draw a card now? I think so. In case I draw Saga. Alright, not a Saga. Spellbomb, go. It's thinking chord for... Nope. Chord for none. Just looking for a Time Sieve. That's not good. Time Sieve would still be a good draw, but not quite as good without the Manufacturer. I mean, I guess Asmo would be a good draw, too. I wonder if they're thinking about killing the Cookbook. Honestly, they probably should. I guess they want to... They want to try to get me to activate the Cookbook first, and then they'll just kill the Manufacturer in response. But then I could just bounce it with the Spellbomb, right? Which I think is what I would do. Alright, let's go activate. See what they do. Yeah, if they go to kill the Manufacturer, I'm going to bounce it. It's actually kind of awkward if they just don't activate this. Which, yeah, I think that's actually a good play by them. Because they can just flip this. I don't have a spell. I don't have a spell. I guess I could bounce it. Worst case scenario. So let's sack the clue. I'm probably going to have to bounce it. Okay. I'm supposed to just play Daredevil that turn, because I got the treasure. Alright, let's go Dark Slick Shores, pass. And then when they go to combat, I'm going to bounce this thing. Oh, they're playing a spell. Okay. I guess that's good. Oh, they're just going to get Yawgmoth and kill me. Right. Shoot. Okay. Yeah, because now they can just kill the needle. Right. I think we're dead. Like, what can I even do here? If I bounce, if I let them attack, they're just going to kill the needle. I guess my only way out is, like, make them kill the needle and bounce the Yawgmoth? I don't think that's good enough, though. Man. Oh, they're bouncing the Spell Bomb. Right. I guess it's the same thing. Sure. Yeah, I think we're dead. Yeah. Well, I guess I kind of have to sit through this, because if for some reason they brick, I could just draw Time Sieve and win. So I'll just pause the video and then come back when they likely kill us. All right, turns out it didn't take that long. They found the Blood Artist. Man, shitty way to go out, but I don't know. I can't be that upset. You know, that matchup I think is really bad, mostly because Asmo can't kill Yawgmoth. So, yeah, 4-1. Only losing to Yawgmoth, which again I think is not the greatest matchup. Deck's great. I really, really like this configuration. Really, really clean main deck. Like, it's basically just all 4-ofs and a couple of Saga targets. I could see, like, if you wanted to make room for some other card, like maybe trimming an Unearth and possibly the Springleaf Drum. I want to maybe try a couple copies of Urza, although Urza being a 4-drop is a little sketchy. So there's not really a lot that I want to add to this deck. I do think it is pretty important to play 4 Time Sieve along with 4 Daredevil, because when you're doing the Manufactor stuff and you're focusing your deck around Time Sieve, you just have to draw that card. So I think it does make sense to play 4 copies of all of the kind of like combo pieces. Sideboard probably needs some work. Fulminator Mage, I mean, I guess we just didn't play against a lot of matchups where Fulminator is good, but I'm not even sure that that card is that good to begin with. Maybe just more copies of Thoughtseize. But yeah, the Flusters were fine. The Bone Shards, we didn't really draw them against Yawgmoth, but they would have been okay. I guess being a sorcery is kind of awkward against Court of Calling, but that's something to consider. But yeah, deck's great. Asmo is hopefully good again, maybe not Copium. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment in the comment section below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out, everybody.